Cousin Kate. I was but a cottage maiden, hardened by sun and air, contented with my cottage mates, not mindful I was fair. Why did a great lord find me out, and praise my flaxen hair? Why did a great lord find me out, to fill my heart with care? He lured me to his palace home, woes me for joys thereof, to lead a shameless, shameful life, his plaything and his love. He wore me like a silken knot, he changed me like a glove. So now I moan, an unclean thing, who might have been a dove. O Lady Kate, my cousin Kate, you grew more fair than I. He saw you at your father's gate, chose you, and cast me by. He watched your steps along the lane, your work among the rye. He lifted you from mean estate, to sit with him on high. Because you were so good and pure, he bound you with his ring. The neighbours call you good and pure, call me an outcast thing. Even so I sit and howl in dust, you sit in gold and sing. Now, which of us has tenderer heart? You had the stronger wing. Oh, cousin Kate, my love was true, your love was written sand. If he had fooled not me but you, if you stood where I stand, he'd not have won me with his love, nor bought me with his land. I would have spit into his face, and not have taken his hand. Yet I've a gift you have not got, and seem not like to get. For all your clothes and wedding ring, I've little doubt you fret. My fair-haired son, my shame, my pride. Cling closer, closer yet. Your father would give lands for one to wear his coronet. Cousin Kate is a poem which essentially tells the story about a cottage maiden, the speaker, who is quite happy leading a simple yet enjoyable life until one day she is discovered by a great lord who takes her back to his estate and makes her be his sexual object. One day the lord then rejects her in favour of another more pure woman, the speaker's cousin Kate. And then the speaker becomes the typical fallen woman. However, there's a bit of a twist because the speaker has an illegitimate child and she is proud of it and she keeps it and she enjoys the fact that the man does not have a child and would really need one. So the poem reflects Rossetti's normal concern with the fallen woman, but only to a limited extent because there's a twist and there is a feeling at the end of the poem that the fallen woman is not so fallen after all and that she has won. In regard to the method of presenting these ideas, Cousin Kate is also slightly different and unique because it is not simply completely melancholy or completely angry, but there's a good mixture of anger and anxiety and active and passive words. For example, at the beginning, the speaker anxiously questions, using rhetorical questions, why did a great lord find me out? However, after stanza 5, the women stop being passive recipients of the man's actions and they demonstrate great charisma and determination and will. She almost teases the lord when she says, "Yet I've a gift you have not." Also, this poem has an unrelenting rhyme scheme which makes individual words stand out. For example, in the final verse, the rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B, D, B, E, B, and this makes odd lines rhyme and makes individual words stand out more, such as ring and one. And there is also a juxtaposition in this ring and one standing out, because normally both words signify unity and bondage, but in this situation, the speaker describes them as being not about unity. So it's also a very controversial poem, and it does not follow straightforward themes and traditions. Also, The poem is written in 3 and 4 foot iambic trimeters and tetrameters, which means that it is read at speed. I was but a cottage maiden, not mindful I was fair, and this gives it a very discoursive and dialogue tone, which again makes it very good for reading out loud and listening to out loud, which is what Rossetti had in mind when she wrote most of her poems. The main symbolism comes from the glove, which suggests how simply the speaker was worn temporarily and then dropped. And gloves often also appear as a symbol as lost innocence. Then we have the dove, which is quite important because the dove, obviously which comes from the Bible, the story of Noah's Ark, the dove symbolizes the idea of hope being fulfilled and the purity of something. Then we have the coronet, which is a sort of crown, a piece of ornament, jewellery that the man would wear when he passes on his land to the child heir. And then finally the dolls, which again symbolize entrapment and the plaything. For example, the speaker describes herself as the man's plaything, showing how he simply toys with her and plays with her, also depicting men as evil bastards. Finally, the main themes are marriage and the fallen woman. However, as we've just said, this poem does not typically represent Rossetti's main methods and concerns, since this time the fallen woman could very easily be interpreted as victorious. Finally, we have some key quotes of the poem, which in this order also help to summarise the poem. So, not mindful I was fair, which shows how the woman did not know that she was beautiful, and it is as if she discovers herself through the man. This is then emphasised when, why did a great lord find me out? Notice that this is not a rhetorical question, but more as a matter-of-fact statement, which suggests how the man has confidence and pride and straightforwardness in his actions. Then we have a shameless, shameful life, which beautifully describes how the woman feels. Shameless outside in the views of society because she is doing the right thing, but shameful inside because she feels that her liberty has been taken away, and this is also emphasized when she says to fill my heart with care. This is also a double meaning because care could signify both, as in the Lord now cares about her, but also care as in the Lord has given her things to worry about, and she didn't want that because she was happy with her cottage and her maiden mates and stuff. Then the speaker addresses Kate and says, he, the Lord, lifted you from mean estate, which again depicts the man as having the power to make or break women and change their societal position and ranking. Then she says, I would have spit into his face, saying how very controversially she would not have allowed herself to do everything the man told her to do. She would have rebelled. Then she finally says, I've a gift you have not got, and that's her again toying with him and seeking revenge and asserting herself. Then my fair-haired son, my shame, my pride. My shame, my pride gives a bit of an oxymoron feel, but suggests that her son she is proud of, although it comes from a marriage which did not fulfill itself under the duties of society. She still feels that she has accomplished, and that moreover, the repetition of my 3 times suggests possessiveness. This son is hers and she is not going to share it. And she has won.